Cindy Brown and everybody keto. Good morning, everybody. Cindy Brown, everybody keto. So glad to be on with you guys again this morning. It's been a couple weeks and it's been kind of a crazy couple weeks. So as we're getting everybody on, I'm going to just sort of recap what's been going on in everybody keto world. And we are going to make a really cool fat bomb recipe today. What a morning. I believe we already have talked about this, but in addition to my Facebook Lives and my keto business, I also have a YouTube channel, so as does my husband, Steve. So he actually has two YouTube channels, one that's just sort of kicking down walls and breaking down barriers, and that's called It's My Railroad, and he does a live YouTube show every Saturday morning. So an hour and a half or so later, I have to hop on and do a live Facebook Live here on Everybody Keto. Well, his stream this morning somehow got messed up, and he actually had to sort of shut down his whole computer and start over again. Well, so here we are setting up my studio, we call Studio K, which is the kitchen. And mine froze up and we had to reboot the computer. So sorry for being a little more than 20 minutes, but here I am, better late than never. So again, we are going to be doing a really great fat bomb recipe this morning. We've talked, I think, about the things that we miss, right, when we go keto, and if there's any ways to sort of replicate or replace those things. What we're going to be doing today is what we call Keto Samoas. They taste an awful lot like the, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on Facebook, like the Girl Scout Samoa cookies. So they're yummy. They're the only thing we have to do actually is heat up the sauce on the stovetop. The rest of it is all going to be done right here. So last couple weeks, because we have a lot to talk about. Everybody Keto, Cindy Brown, and It's My Road, Steve Brown are moving. Boom! I have lived in this house for 21 years. So to say that there's a lot to move out of here and to pack up is an understatement for sure. I've had like 3 or 4 why in the heck are we doing this moments, because yeah, you know, we have 20 years worth of storage here. But for the first time ever, we're going to be getting a bigger house. We're going to be getting basically double the size of our house. And it's all happening. Like, our first open house is October 20th. So I'm going to try real hard to do a Facebook Live here early in the morning, because we're going to have to get out of our house. We have to take our dogs. Guys, if you guys have moved at all, please put in the comments what your first best can't live without suggestions are, because I literally need to have like 2-hour notice to get my dogs, clean up my house, and get out of here any given time so a realtor can come in and show the house. And yeah, how do you do that? You know, I mean, I've got 4 terriers. I've got crates for them all. So my husband and I keep talking about what the 10-minute drill looks like, and now we're up to like the 45-minute drill, because there's no way to get everything cleared out of this house in 10 minutes for them to come walk through. So again, if you guys have moved, if you have suggestions, if you have a website that I could go to, please. So that's what we're doing these last couple weekends, trying to pack up stuff that we don't need for the next 2 months or so at least. Interesting, I want to actually go through everything and sort through it, and my husband had the brilliant idea to say, do me a favor, love, throw it all in boxes. When we are in our new house and all the boxes are in the garage, you can take all the time you need to go through them. So that was one good tip that I needed to hear. Any more would be awesome. So guys, again, Cindy Brown's Everybody Keto, we are doing Samoa fat bombs today. Oh, I was going to talk to you about where we were the other week. As you guys know, Everybody Keto, I do keto coaching, and I've decided to start a local meetup group in my area. And if you guys aren't familiar with Meetup, you can go on, it's called meetup.com. And people who do everything from like rock collecting to business networking to scrapbooking, they kind of create a little meetup group. They type in what it's about. They kind of figure a place and a time to meet. And then people who search for those ideas, like, you know, I'm a scrapbooker, I want to find if there's any scrapbooking meetups in my area. They just come across that, find it, and then they RSVP. So we had our first keto meetup, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, on a Saturday morning. And it was awesome. Love the girls in the community. Tina, if you're watching, hey, I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. So we're going to do it once a month. We're just talking about all things keto, and everybody from every different level of keto can come. I kind of envision it to be like, you know how if you're further along in something, you sort of reach down and grab the person that's not quite as far as you and you help them up. That's sort of what I envision this, you know, like giving tips for recipes, tips for keto hacks, tips for tracking macros, that sort of thing. So that's where we've been the last couple weeks. But guys, I have a commitment to you that one way or another, I'm going to come out here every Saturday morning and share some keto love and some keto information with you. The other one that needs to be noted is we will be going to the island of Maui the first weekend of November. So we are trying to figure out how in the world I can do a every keto Facebook Live from Maui, but we're going to figure it out so you guys can come hang out on vacation with us. So all of that aside, I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to be back. I will post this recipe down below once this is over. What we're doing today, guys, is we're making fat bombs. And if you're not sure what a fat bomb is, when you are following your ketogenic lifestyle, it is high fat, moderate protein, low carb. Okay, so where do those high fats come from? If you use a tracking system like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer or Carb Manager, you can go in, tell them basically, you know, height, weight, all your sort of your stats, what you want to do with your ketogenic diet. Do you want to lose a pound a week, 2 pounds a week? Do you want to maintain? And it will calculate macros for you. As a keto coach, I also can calculate macros for you. It just takes a little, it's a little more precise because obviously all of those apps, they're just using an algorithm where I actually take into things like what your BMI is, all that good kind of stuff. So once you calculate your macros, that's sort of your guideline for every day. Okay, so the ways to add fats to your daily food intake are things like avocado, cook your vegetables in butter, cook them in bacon grease, eat a little bit of bacon. Fat bombs are another way, and they're also another way, guys, quite honestly, to sort of satisfy that sweet tooth. Oftentimes fat bombs are frozen. These guys are actually frozen or chilled, I believe. Yeah, we can actually put them in the fridge or the freezer. The recipe we're using today is going to make 10. And what I am using is a treat mold. You can just roll them into balls if you want to, but the treat mold is a really kind of good way to get a precise measurement. So each one of them is about the same size, because that's one danger in your macros is if you make a recipe like this and you make it twice the size as what the recipe calls it out to be. So you can think you're getting, on this instance, like we're getting 11 grams of fat. Okay, well, if you double it, now you're getting 22 grams of fat and you don't even know it. So I like to, as often as I can, sort of be precise with my measurements. Let me go over a list of ingredients. We're going to have 2 different processes. We're going to make the balls or the molds, and then we're going to make the sort of mapley sauce that's going to go over it. So we have in our repertoire right here, unsweetened cocoa powder. We have vanilla extract. We have coconut milk, which I need to be careful with because I've already taken the top off. We have swerve granulated sugar. We have both melted butter and coconut oil. This is actually butter flavored coconut oil, but you can use either. I have Lakanto sugar-free maple flavored syrup and shredded coconut. So with no further ado, guys, let's get this party started. Okay, so we are going to start with our dry ingredients. We're going to put them in this bowl right here. We're going to blend them. I need something to blend with. Give me 1 second. Just when I thought I had all my stuff together. All right, so we're going to start with 3.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. Guys, just so you know, this recipe is one of my own. When you become part of the Everybody Keto community and you become part of the Keto 7-week group program, you get access to about 50 plus recipes that aren't, they're not copycats. They're kind of individual recipes, lots of different ways to do Taco Tuesday, lots of different fat bombs. So this is one of those. Okay, so we're going to start with, again, 3.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. I got mine at Trader Joe's, but you can grab it anywhere. And as I've talked every week that I've done this, I cannot count and talk at the same time. So you just got to sit there and watch me measure because talk about screwing up our macros, right? Okay, so 3.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Can you guys see the bowl okay? I hope so. All right, now we're going to add, we have 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter and 2.5 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. Okay, so here's our butter. So here's our coconut oil. Again, 2.5 tablespoons of each of those. Now we're going to add 3.5 tablespoons of granulated sweetener. I use Swerve. I swear by Swerve. I also have the monk fruit sweetener, but for most of what I do, I like the Swerve. So again, that's 3.5 tablespoons. All right, so there's our 3.5 tablespoons. Guys, it already smells, just the butter and the coconut oil with the cocoa powder. It smells like brownie mix. All right, then 2 tablespoons of, you can either use heavy whipping cream or unsweetened coconut milk. I try to do most of my recipes dairy-free, so that's why we're using coconut milk. But please feel free, if you don't have a dairy or a casein problem, go ahead and use heavy whipping cream. So 2 tablespoons, I'm gonna move the sugar out of the way. 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. And the cool thing for me is I'm only taking 2 tablespoons out of here, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons, I think, when we do the sauce. And then for me, the way I make my coffee creamer, little bonus fact here, because I don't do heavy whipping cream, I take 1 can of coconut milk and then 1 can or 3/4 of a can of almond milk, and I blend them together. And that's what I use in the mornings for my creamer. So we've got everything in here. You guys can see what it looks like. Also, since we're moving, somehow, guys, I put away my mouse. And I am not a glide pad girl. I'm a mouse girl. So to say that I'm having issues is kind of funny. All right, so we're just going to blend this up. And it is pretty liquidy, so it's good to go as far as blending it with a fork. I want to make sure you get all the dry ingredients in with the wet. All right, so everybody got good plans this Saturday morning. It rained here in SoCal on Thursday, like monsoon crazy rain. And it's been a little cooler since then, so I believe we're finally getting to fall here in SoCal, which is nice. We only get like, I don't know, a month and a half of fall, because, I mean, guys, there have been times where we've been unwrapping Christmas presents out on the backyard patio because it's like 85 degrees on Christmas. So don't hate me, East Coasters, but that's just kind of what it is. As I'm stirring it, guys, it's getting a little bit thicker. And again, if you want to make more of these, this mold, let's see what it holds. It holds 4 times 6, so it holds 24 of them, so you could definitely double the recipe if you wanted to. I think I might get a spoon and sort of spoon these in. Gotta taste it though. Guys, it tastes like brownie mix. These are gonna be some yummy Fatbombs. All right, guys, can you see this tray? Let me move all this stuff out of the way. Good. All right, so what we're doing, guys, right now is we're just pouring into these molds. We should have 10 when we're done. Silicone molds, gotta say that 3 times fast, are really the way to go, guys, because you can just pop them out of here when you're done, especially when you freeze them. I don't know, you know, our grandmas and our moms never cooked with silicone. I don't know why it took them so damn long to come up with silicone muffin pans and things like this, brownie pans, loaf pans, but they are definitely lifesavers for sure. All right, so we're at 8. So you guys watch it and not be heavy-handed, because I'm at 8 right now and I'm almost out of stuff. Hey, you know, keto's for everyone. I mean, I know that I want to give just a couple little shout-outs. If you guys have not already followed my Instagram account, it's just like the Facebook Everybody Keto. And man, there's some hard-working keto people over there, you know. There's a guy that I follow, his name's Trevor. Trevor does keto, and he's trying to get all ready to go for his wedding. And that dude is legit committed. I mean, like, goes to the gym every morning at 5 a.m., you know, takes pictures for accountability. So, I don't know if he ever watches this live, but dude, rock on, man. All right, so I got 9. My bad. But at least they're close. All right, so hopefully I can lift that up and show you. That's what they look like loaded. Fatbombs are an important piece of your ketogenic journey when you're trying to make sure you get your right ratio, your right macro ratio from fats to proteins to carbs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this in the freezer momentarily and start the sauce. The only bad thing about silicone pans is, look at this, guys. All right, so they're gonna sit in there for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we will make the sauce. Guys, okay, so back to the whole moving thing in keto, right? It's like I can't just order pizza every night because, hello, pizza, not keto. But we're trying to, again, minimize our home life to the point to where we only need about 2 or 3 years worth of stuff. And so that, you know, obviously when a potential buyer comes in, everything looks clean and fresh. Okay guys, I have like 7 different dry ingredients just for all my keto stuff. Yeah, I've got my almond flour, my coconut flour, my granulated sugar, my cocoa powder. It's like, how do I sort of streamline down to make that happen? So I don't know, but we will figure it out. So guys, we are going to try something new today, and we will see how it works, but we are going to bounce back and forth between 2 cameras. So, you know, we are tech giants here at Everybody Keto. So if I'm doing this right, I am going to, okay guys, I've lost my butter. How does one lose butter? I actually had a whole chunk cut and ready to go. Should I be embarrassed that I have no idea where my butter is? I just want to cut another stick if I don't need to, but hang on. How cute I am, I put it back in the fridge. All right, so let's see what we need to take over to the kitchen. For the caramel coating, we need 2.5 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna need 2.5 tablespoons of the granulated sugar. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of the coconut milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of our maple syrup, Lakanto sugar-free, and a quarter teaspoon of vanilla extract. So let's see if Mama can do this. Look at that. Can you guys see me okay over here? Hello, hello, hi. All right, so let me grab the rest of our stuff. We are gonna start by melting this butter. Make sure you can see me okay. Yeah, looks good. All right. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that whole 2 camera shoot, people? Pretty coolio, huh? I'm kind of a purist when it comes to my videos, even if they're Facebook Lives. If we have the technology, we can figure out how to make it work. Why not, right? All right, so here we go. We're melting our butter. We need our measuring spoons. Once our butter is melted, we are going to add all those other ingredients and make sort of a thick caramely sauce that's going to go over the Fatbombs that are in the freezer right now. Melting butter over here. Our butter is melted. So now we are going to add, all right, so once melted, add the 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. This guy's gonna be sweet heat, isn't it? Butter and sugar, not sugar, swerve. Now we're going to put 2 tablespoons of the coconut milk. So it's gonna be a nice thick creamy sauce as well. And the maple syrup. I wonder where the vanilla extract goes in. Oh, vanilla extract. The vanilla extract goes in after the heat. We're doing 1/8 of a teaspoon. I don't have an 1/8, so I'm just going to fill my 1/4 just a little bit. All right. So we're going to combine all that. Even to turn the heat up just a little bit. I always get concerned when I'm melting butter because before you know it, it's all of a sudden popping everywhere. So I tend to melt my butter low and slow. All right, so we got our sort of creamy sauce here. Everything is blended. That's what it looks like. Stir and heat until bubbling. So we're not bubbling yet, but we're getting there. So all right, we got this almost bubbly. So we're going to turn off the heat. And the last thing we are doing is we are adding in 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And guys, use pure vanilla extract because imitation has a lot of junk. A lot of sort of carby and filler junk that you don't really want. So what we're going to do is we're just going to blend in that vanilla really quick. And we're going to let it sit on the stove here and thicken. And then when our Fatbombs come out, we're going to drizzle this over them and put a little bit of coconut on it. All right, they feel pretty hard. We're going to grab just a little bit of parchment paper and we're going to flip them out onto it. All right, so they should just pop right. Oh, look at that. Can you guys see how they're just popping right out? I love these silicone molds. I have a heck of a time with that phrase, silicone molds. All right, so that's what one of these little babies looks like. I have a little tiny piece. I'm going to taste it. Oh, heck yeah. All right, so what we've got here is we've got all of our little pieces. Wow, that's really good. You know what's going to happen? Spouses, single keto starters, if y'all are out there. How long did it take your family to sort of come over to the keto dark side with you? Because I'm telling you right now, as soon as I let my husband have a bite of these, I'm going to have to hide them because he will eat them all. All right, so let's just stir this through one more time. It did get thicker. So now we're just going to drizzle. Let me taste. I actually haven't tasted this sauce yet. It's still a little hot. Holy heck, you guys, just a little bit of maple syrup. Done, son. All right, so we're going to drizzle this on top of each one of these and just sort of let it sort of set up. And then we're going to hit it with a little bit of coconut. You know, I thought about something on the silicone mold. It might be a cool idea to put a little like thumbprint or something in there that would hold, because some of these guys have a little gully in them. They're really holding this well, but it's going to actually harden onto the little Fatbombs. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some shredded coconut on it, and that's going to sort of sit up onto that glaze as well. And then we're just going to refrigerate these, let everything sort of harden up, and then you can pop them in a freezer-proof container. Take them out as you need to. Again, I think I mentioned it, but each one of these is 102 calories, 11 grams of fat, no protein, and 1 net carb. So this is just Thrive Market shredded coconut. If you guys are familiar with the Girl Scout Samoa cookies, they do have the coconut on them. And this is just, again, they call it a tablespoon. You just want to sprinkle on to whatever. I mean, if you're like an Almond Joy girl, put a bunch of, or guy, put a bunch of it on. I like just enough coconut to be dangerous. All right, so I believe you can see these guys. I don't really want to move them, but we have made 9, not 10, but 10 Fatbombs, knockoffs of Girl Scout Samoa cookies. 102 calories, 11 grams of fat, 0 protein, 1 net carb. I will put the recipe down below. So if there are any questions, guys, please put them on there. I will be happy to go on and give you guys all the information you can need. If you're interested in my coaching, let me know. If you're interested in understanding macros, let me know. And I'm going to throw these in the fridge, and now I've got myself, unless Steve steals them all, at least a week's worth of Fatbombs at the ready. So easy recipe. You saw it. It was really good. Guys, I think that I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Cindy Brown, Everybody Keto. Hey guys, if you are new here at Everybody Keto, I ask you to do me just one favor. Please just pound that subscribe button down below, and also make sure that you hit the little ringy dingy bell, because that will let you know every time we put out new content. And also, since you're new, I'm going to throw a couple videos up here that let you know what we're about, help you get started. And guys, until next time, this is Cindy at Everybody Keto, and keto on.